County, almost all of western Marion County. We just got finished with the primary. We did a lot better than what we'd expected. It was a pleasant surprise. We ended up with 44% of the vote. The other two opponents split 28% each. So it was we knew we'd do good up in Alachua County. I've been here most of my life, but didn't know that we would actually win all 3 counties, which we did. So that was good. A little bit about me. Grew up here. My dad was from St. Pete, but went to school at FSU. Came down here to the University of Florida, where he was a professor scientist for 38 years. I went to Buell's High School, not too far from here. One of the 4 kids, the only one that did not go to college. I recommend you stay in college. But I didn't go to college. I wanted to take some time off between high school. I was just a little bit antsy to do something. My dad was not thrilled with my decision not to go to college. But nevertheless, that's what I did. I had a friend who, his father was a home builder. So we put the roof on a couple of houses that he owned and was building at the time. And that's how I learned that trade. So when I got out of high school, I was 17, didn't know what I was going to do. Went looking for a job. I found a builder that let me put a roof on his house, and I started Perry Roofing Company. That was 34 years ago.
That's the American way.
That's the American way. It used to be the American way. And I'll talk to you about that in a second, about my thoughts on that. So, but we've been blessed. My company has grown. Anybody in construction now, it's a very difficult time for us. It's the worst recession I've been through. I've been through 3 of them. This is by far the worst one that I've been through. 2 years ago, I had 225 employees. Our company did about $22 million in revenue. We had 5 offices in the state of Florida. We're down to 125 employees. It's still a substantial company, but that was a tough thing for us to do. The decisions I had to make to keep the company going, firing or letting go 100 people that you've trained and hired and got to know their families and stuff. It was very difficult, but again, it was part of the process that I had to do to keep the company viable and the livelihood of the 125 people that are still there. A question that I ask myself now, 34 years later, if I was in it again, I'm one of you guys sitting out there, and I'm thinking about starting a business today, would I be able to do what I did 34 years ago? And quite frankly, I think the answer is no. The difficulty, it's difficult, it was real difficult then, it's more difficult now. And we're established and we've got the things going, so we're able to survive, although it's difficult even to survive in this market. But to start a business today would be next to impossible, at least in my opinion, for a small company. And what I see our country is evolving into is 2 separate entities. One is very large government, and one is very large corporations. And they kind of go hand in hand. The fact that we have very large corporations that are getting bigger is the fact that because the government is getting so big and so intrusive into our lives, that the only people that really can survive and build are corporations with the legal resources and the financial resources to navigate through the maze that they have set up for businesses these days. If someone wanted to grow, you've seen, or you may haven't seen because you're not quite as old, but the difference even in your age, you've seen that we don't have the mom and pop pharmacies anymore, the lumber yards or grocery stores. Those have all been replaced. So now we have CVS and Walgreens and Home Depots and Lowe's and those kind of things. Not against large corporations at all. But the fact is now that we really don't have any more opportunity for individuals to start. And why I bring that up is not only because I'm a small businessman, but also because I think that it's absolutely vital to the success of our country, certainly economically. If you look in the last 15 years, net new jobs, 64%, nearly 2/3 of net new jobs have been created by small businesses. That's a pretty amazing statistic. Another statistic that I like to give you is one that on patents, new inventions, small businesses have about 13 times more patents per employees than large corporations. Now that's a pretty amazing number if you think about it. Corporations with all their resources and all their research and development, yet the small businesses are creating 13 times more patents. And the reason that is because small businesses allow for individuals to be creative and use their talents and skills. And large corporations, simply by the rigid structure they have to survive, do the exact opposite. They inhibit individuals from being creative and using their talents. Our country was founded on the belief of individual rights and responsibilities. Our Constitution was formed not just to give rights to the government, but it was really made to limit the government and what they could do. And that allowed individual freedom and more responsibility. So it's imperative in my belief and my big running platforms that we need to get back to that right, that government gets out of our way and lets individuals use their talents and skills. And if we do that, Then we'll solve the employment problem, that y'all are going to be looking for a job pretty soon in this environment, what kind of environments that's going to be for you. And also, we're going to have the new inventions and new technology. You know, you have up there Facebook, YouTube. Those weren't invented by large corporations. They were invented by individuals in dorm rooms and in back bedrooms and in little offices. That's where the things are happening, and that's what's going to continue to happen if we allow and get the environment back to individual rights, freedoms, and responsibilities. About me, about running this race, I got in this race about 14 months ago. The senator in this area, Steve Ulrich, was a friend. I ran for county commission back in '92. He ran for sheriff. He was elected. I did not win. It's tough for Republicans, especially in this county. Difficult for us. But I've been friends with him ever since. He called me up about 14 months ago and asked if I would run for this office. Larry Creedle, our state rep, was being termed out. And he said, look, I want you to consider, I think you make a good state rep with your business background and skills. And I thought that would be a pretty easy decision for me. You know, I'd go home, I'd think about it, I'd weigh out the pros and cons like I do in business, making decisions every day. It was a difficult one. It took me about 3 months. One of the biggest things for me was I have 2 daughters, a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. You know, I've got a business still with 125 people. Did I want to be in Tallahassee for 4 months, 5 months out of the year? Every night with my daughters, I go down into their bedroom, put them to bed, pray for them, and I said, I don't want to miss that. I'm not going to miss that. I'm not going to spend 4 months out of my life not with my family. Then I started thinking about them and their future, like I alluded to earlier. What kind of opportunities are they going to have when they get older? And what kind of opportunities are you going to have? And when I started thinking that and weighing it out, I looked at them and I said, you know, it's absolutely something, a challenge I felt that I had to take and must take. And I understand what challenges take sacrifices. And so I've committed myself to run and do that. And it's, you know, my name's on the flyers and stuff, but it's really not about me. It's about us. And it's about our future, your future. And I want to just commend all of you in this room. Most young people your age don't care about politics. Not realizing that the laws and policies that are made today are going to dramatically impact you in the upcoming years. I mean, they're going to have a huge impact. They may not have a huge impact on you today, but in the next couple of years, as you get into the business world, you get out of school into that, as you think about marriage, and you probably don't think about dating and stuff at this age, do you? But you're going to be out in you're going to be out in the market for a spouse too. You're going to have a family. You're going to have kids. And I'm telling you, the laws that they make today are just going to have a huge impact on you. So I want to continue to encourage you to get involved like you are now. Like I say, it's just great to see young people out at an event like this, see so many. I thought maybe about 4 or 5. So it's nice to see so many of you out here. A little bit about the campaign. I want to make sure I got a little bit of time for questions, but we won pretty big because we had a grassroots effort. I mean, we raised a lot of money, and that's a big part of it. You got to raise money. Grassroots effort. If you think about it, I don't know, I'll make up these statistics. My guess is somewhere between 25 and 50% of the voters don't know who they're going to vote for when they walk into a voting booth. They may know who they're going to vote for governor or senate, but school board, county commission, my race, they don't know. I had about 70 to 80, I don't know exact count, but about 70, 80 volunteers on election day that were standing there waving signs. Someone walks up, they see a Keith Perry sign, they walk in the booth, they vote for Rick Scott or McCollum or whoever, and then they're going down, they don't know who they're going to vote for. Perry, I'll fill in that box. I don't know what impact that has. I can tell you this, we were 5 points down 14 days after the election. And we won by, I'm going to say, I don't know, 16%. Pretty big victory. And I attribute that a lot to the grassroots part of people getting out on the street corners, waving signs. Huge impact. It's a marketing campaign. A little unfortunate that's a marketing campaign. People like you are going to be a little more astute. You're going to have a little bit more knowledge about who you're going to vote for and why you're going to vote for them. Other people just don't know. So, encourage you to do that. Get involved. Stay involved. The grassroots side, you won't necessarily know what you're going to do, but just get involved with someone's campaign. If it's not mine, get involved with somebody else's, and you will have an impact more than you can imagine if you really work at it. So, anyway, thanks for coming. Do you have any questions about me, the campaign, issues, what's going to affect us?
What's the main thing on your campaign platform?
Well, I mentioned small business. That's the main thing. But it's really, what does that mean? And what are we going to do specifically? I think that energy independence is something we have to look at, and we have to look at now. I think our government is going the exact opposite way from energy independence.